Okay, baby, let's go. This Crow remake is about to be peak. A 3-minute trailer? Damn, they're going in. Okay, I see why he would come back and avenge her now. I would avenge her too if she sat on me like that. Man, suffocation has to be the worst way to go. That voice singing that song sounds very familiar. Where have I heard it before? Oh, he got blasted in the chest with a shotty. Damn, Pennywise got ripped for this movie. Wait, so there's a chance he could save her soul if he gets things right? That's some powerful vengeance. Oh shit, he blasted dude in the face. I don't know why everyone's getting upset about the Crow's new makeup. It's a modern take on a classic design. What could go wrong? Love really keeps him going even when he's been shot like 100 times. Maybe that's John Wick's secret too. Love promises pain? Too real, man. Too real. Damn, they finish off the trailer with some Post Malone auto-tune? You son of a bitch, I'm in. The original Crow ain't got nothing on this right here. Peak cinema incoming.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So I reacted to the first images released from the upcoming Crow reboot just a couple of weeks ago. And I said that even though I wasn't impressed, I was willing to wait and see how everything plays out before fully judging the film.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Well, now we have an official trailer, a 2-minute and 59-second trailer at that. Which, if we are being completely honest with ourselves, this trailer probably shows too much. This is the problem with modern trailers and why I feel like it's a lost art. We have to be able to build intrigue for a movie without feeling like we've just shown the audience the entire movie in the process. And to me, this trailer felt a little desperate. It felt like a reaction to the less than favorable reaction to the images. And the studio felt like they needed to change people's minds about this project immediately. But in a weird sort of way, I feel like they kind of made it worse by doing that.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Why couldn't they just give us a 30-second teaser trailer with a voiceover and have the Crow walking through a dark and dingy alley? That would have done the trick, honestly. In my experience, sometimes simple is more effective when it comes to trailers. But based on what we got, I can't say that my mind was changed about this movie all that much. I've softened a little bit on the design and look of the Crow himself. With a little bit more context from the trailer, it does feel like it makes a little bit more sense for him to look that way. My biggest issue is that the vibe feels off. It feels less reserved and less mysterious. In an effort to modernize the Crow, it feels like they're taking a much more in-your-face approach. Now, we can debate all day as to whether or not that is the right approach to take. I've already seen people say that it feels like this film is trying to tap into a little bit of that John Wick energy that people seem to enjoy. Especially with the more over-the-top violence and action that wasn't really present in the original film. As someone who is not really a big fan of John Wick to begin with, I can't say that I have a lot of interest in that.
Move this man!
When it comes to watching movies, I just have no interest in zero-stakes action. In fact, it bores me most of the time because the movie isn't really giving me a reason to give a shit about what's going on. This might actually be worse with a character like the Crow, because he technically can't be killed because he's already dead. And again, I have to reiterate this because I know there's going to be some people in my comments who say that I'm not accepting to change. Once again, I don't really have a connection to the original Crow film, or the comic for that matter. So my critiques aren't really coming from a place where I'm just yelling and screaming about you ruining a classic. In the end, I don't really care, but what I will say is that it's very clear that they are going for a different tone with this new film. Now, some people are going to be accepting of that, and some people are not. That's just the way it is. I will say this, some of the best remakes I've ever seen are the ones that kind of do their own thing and don't try to be that original film. So I do think that this movie could potentially have that going for it.
That makes sense.
I just haven't personally seen anything from this trailer or anything else related to this movie that got me any more interested in it than I was 2 weeks ago. I get why they're trying to bring this back. It's a recognizable name and a lot of people have love for the character. And they felt like they could bring something new to the table when it comes to adapting him. But as it stands right now, it still feels very unnecessary to me. It's one of those instances, again, where I have to ask the question, did anyone really ask for this movie? Now, I know you could respond to that and say, well, did anyone really ask for any movie? But I think when we're talking about franchises with built-in fan bases, you know that's a different conversation altogether.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Based on the reactions I've seen, this movie doesn't seem to be having the desired effect that they wanted. Again, I think Bill Skarsgard as an actor is more than capable of handling this. And what we see of him in the trailer is decent to me. Based on the trailer, I think they are definitely leaning into the modern advancements in special effects, which I guess is to be expected. The only problem with this is that sometimes special effects work against modern films, especially if they aren't done right, and they take the audience right out of the story. Plus, I think the somewhat dated effects in the original add to its charm and are a big reason why it's still beloved to this day. We are also shown that this will definitely be a bloodier and gorier film than the original as well. Which, again, gore has its place, but it needs to be used right. A lot of times, it's a gimmick, and filmmakers use it to mask deficiencies elsewhere in the film. Basically, you're just trying to shock audiences into not realizing all the garbage around it.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
Listen, when it comes right down to it, there are many relatable themes that surround this character that are universal and timeless. Things like loss, pain, love, things that people have dealt with or will deal with at some point in their life. I think that's another big reason why the original film resonated with people. But at the same time, we have to realize that this was clearly intended to be a reimagining. And whether or not you are able to accept that as a fan of this character is up to the individual. To me, as an outsider, again, I'm just not there with this movie. In essence, someone like me who has no connection to the original film could potentially be the target audience for the remake. But this is the problem when you remake cult classics. They are already kind of this niche thing, and they have these built-in fan bases. So if you are going to try to play in that world, then you need to find a way to appeal to those people while simultaneously finding a way to bring in new audience members. And based on what I'm seeing, the new Crow is doing neither of those things.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Perhaps they underestimated people's love of the original and how sacred it is to some people. Maybe they overestimated the impact a story like this being reimagined would have on modern audiences. I say again, I think The Crow is a product of the time it was created in, and some things are better left in the past and don't really need updating. We see this all the time with the tired legacy horror trend, and it feels like it's happening a little bit here with The Crow as well. Some things worked in the past because everything that went into them was perfect in that moment. And a lot of times you can't just snap your fingers and recreate that magic as easy as you think it might be.
It's Hollywood, baby. Who knows what's gonna happen?
It sounds great in theory, but modern Hollywood is rarely creative enough to pull something like that off. The trailer wasn't terrible to me. It was just kind of uneventful, uninspired, and again, it felt very tired and boring to me. It very much feels like they took into account what are modern audiences into right now, and they tried to take those aspects and apply it to The Crow. But it doesn't always work like that. That's not always going to have the desired effect. Sometimes it's best to leave well enough alone and not play in someone else's sandbox. And again, I'm not someone who's even really against remakes. I'm just looking for something in that remake to justify its existence. And as of yet, I haven't seen anything about this film that suggests that it needed to be made.
Y'all be cool. Right on.